Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg,
I'm Emily.
and she's going to be talking about Acceptance. I tried to read it. I've just been too tired lately. I sit and
He's
start
working
falling
him like
asleep.
a dog.
Yeah.
Working him like a dog in his daily life.
Yeah,
So he
really.
busy.
I'm doing electrical work.
Yeah, I see that.
Tearing
There's a
everything
lot to do.
apart. Yeah.
There's
I got a long
there's
way to go.
2 boxes in here? Oh, interesting. Anyway.
Well, that's the basement circuit that covers all the basement lights.
Oh.
That box over there is just the outlets in this room.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that I don't really have to redo, but I opened that up to look at how it was
Just to
wired.
make sure it wasn't done weird.
Yeah.
You know, older homes. They're fun.
I've been running into a lot of that.
Fun.
That's why it went from I was just going to put that ceiling light in. That's
Mhm.
all. Would have
Yeah.
taken me less than an hour.
And then you realized, oh no,
Yeah,
this is
well,
a much bigger
first
problem.
thing, the wire running to it, I saw the rats had been chewing,
Oh,
the mice have been chewing it. So I had to take that out, and that goes all the way to the other room, and I go over there and look at things, and it's got this really weird junction box. So
Struggle
it's
is
kind
real.
of, and then I decided I wanted a new light over there, light fixture, and wanted to
A
organize
simple
how-
project became a not so simple project, as always happens.
Mhm.
I know the story well in my own home. So,
Yeah.
the joys of being a homeowner
Fun.
and having a day job on top of it. Great. So, yeah, Greg's tired. He didn't finish this one, but
No,
that's okay.
I read up to chapter 5, and it was good.
Yeah, just
But I
kept getting
didn't-
tired at
Didn't
night.
really get that deeply into it. I mean, what is that, like 30, 40 pages into
Yeah.
a 200 and some page book?
Yeah. But
So,
I mean, that's a solid start.
yeah.
I mean, if you did it in one sitting, too, that's pretty solid start.
No, that was spread over a week.
Oh, no. Greg, you're killing me.
Yeah.
Oh well. I'll carry the torch on this one. All
So,
right.
Acceptance is the third book in what used to be called the Southern Reach trilogy. It's now 4 books, and I just heard the announcement a few days ago from Jeff Vandermeer that he has a 5th book coming out later in 2026 and another one in 2027. So it's going to expand to 6 books at least
Mhm.
in the next 2 years. So it's no longer a trilogy, it's Southern Reach series.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
In his broader bibliography, I count this as number 133.
Oh wow, he's written a lot then.
Yeah.
A lot more
And-
that I haven't discovered.
Well, and it was published way back in 2014, 2015,
Yeah,
something
it was
like that.
It was when I was in
The
college.
first
they
3
came
were
out.
published really close together.
Mhm.
Within a year of all 3 of them were published.
Yeah.
And then he stopped for a long time.
Yeah, actually, just when I graduated college, they came out. I think
Okay.
is when I did it. So that was like 2013, 2014. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, really great series. So sad I sat on it. Top tail again, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal writer.
And warning from the very beginning, this is the 3rd book in a series. We've already done videos on the first 2. If you're watching this, if you haven't read either of the first 2, you really need to go back and do it, because
Yeah.
there's no way we can talk about this without spoiling
Yeah.
the first 2. And so we're not going to worry about spoilers on this one either. Hopefully you have already
We're just
read
gonna go to
the
town.
3 books, and you're just going to hear our take on these things.
Yeah.
Or
So
her take.
it's great. It was a really good group. Again, Jeff Vandermeer is blowing me away. There are not a lot of contemporary writers that I really enjoy a lot, but this has been a fantastic read. Everybody who I know who likes sci-fi or anything minutely close, even fantasy, I've been recommending this book to, because this is a really great alternate history kind of sci-fi thing, and I really enjoy it. So top tail for me again. All 3
Okay.
books, as far as I'm concerned, thus far are top tails.
What I've read so far, I got to agree. It's
Yeah.
really good. He's had a great writing style. He's doing something that having only read 5 chapters is confusing, because he's got 2 different storylines going.
In fact, it expands further.
I've heard that.
You end up doing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, at least 3, sometimes 4.
Okay. Is one of the storylines is going back in time to the original lighthouse keeper.
Yes, Saul, who is the kind of the linchpin of this whole situation that caused Area X. He was the catalyst.
Okay.
Then they have the director, who was the original director, who was the psychologist in the first book.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get her story. Then you get Saul's. No, that's Saul. Then you get Ghostbird's version of the story, as she and Control are traveling, and then you get Control's POV.
Okay.
Of all of those situations, kind of flitting throughout.
And I've kind of heard that he doesn't exactly follow linearly through time.
No.
That there's some strange things happen, like Ghostbird all of a sudden realizes 30 years have passed.
Yes. So, yeah,
Control?
you have a time. Yeah, you basically find out that from when they left to go back into Area X, when Control and Ghostbird leave from going into Area X, 30 years have passed. And some of that was from the transfer from where they were on the lake shore or ocean shore,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when they were on the beach, to from in book 2 to getting back to Area X, which happened within seconds for them, so wormhole type situation. Okay. But also when they meet Grace, who was the assistant director at Southern Reach, they realize from when the incident had happened. No, it wasn't 30 years. It was like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, I'm just sort of. I watched a couple other reviews. So.
Yeah, no. So it was like there was a huge time gap where there was this discrepancy because they realized it was literally just yesterday for us. Mm-hmm. Like we were just over in where was it in South America yesterday, and today we're in Area X. But for Grace, when this incident happened, which was maybe a couple months prior, it's actually been several years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of time jumping going on. So that causes them to assume that perhaps they are in either an alternate dimension or another planet that is mimicking Earth. That is what they've decided to conclude. When they go into Area X, it's a wormhole of some kind.
Oh.
So that's what they conclude. And throughout this, they're basically... Ghostbird was at first trying to find either the original husband or perhaps herself. Which is, because Ghostbird is convinced she is a copy. And spoiler, she is. She is a copy.
Yeah, her original was the biologist in the first book.
Yeah, so she's trying to figure out where the biologist is now. They find her. She's not human anymore.
Oh no.
So spoilers on that. She became one of the weird creeping creatures like they encountered in the first book. That shambling thing with the mask or whatever in the first book.
So the one in the first book, who was that?
That was the psychologist of the first 11th expedition.
Okay.
Or the first expedition, one or the other, I can't remember. I think it was the first expedition's psychologist.
Okay.
And then they're like, well, what are we going to do? And they kind of decide, well, since what happened at Southern Reach and Area X has expanded, so to speak, we got to find the next wormhole. So that's what they set out to do after they figure out where the biologist, the real biologist, what she's become, where she is, that sort of thing. They decide they're going to try and find the next breach that gets them back to the real world, or whatever it is.
Okay.
So that is what happens in that storyline. Then, from Saul's storyline, when they go to the flashback of what originally happens, Saul is he was a preacher. He kind of just left, and I think it's because he had homosexual tendencies, though they don't actually talk about why he left. He just kind of one day stopped going and being the pastor of the church, or the preacher at this church. So he became a lighthouse keeper on the Lost Shore, as they call it. And so he has a boyfriend named Charlie, and then he's got this little girl who follows him around named Gloria, who is just, this really curious, super intelligent, very wise child. Kind of acts very sagely in the story. And then he's got these two people who just keep showing up, who are the Seance and Science Brigade, basically. Henry and Suzette, or Susanna, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Suzette.
Suzette. And they're running tests and all this stuff. He doesn't fully understand what they're doing, but he recognizes, like, yeah, this is some kind of weird mumbo jumbo or whatever.
At the beginning of the book, they seem to be more like comic relief.
Yeah, they kind of are.
I was surprised that the first two books didn't have that kind of humor.
Yeah. And the whole story kind of starts that way, where everything's kind of comedic and light, and it switches real hard. Okay. Right smack dab in the middle of the story in all of those storylines.
Oh, wow.
Where it kind of starts off like, okay, yeah, everything's going to be fine. And then it's like, no. No, it's not. Things just take a really dark turn. And it kind of shows you the way people are affected by Area X, either interacting with it or trying to study it, because it's so confusing. It kind of makes people descend into madness. So... it's just Saul's day-to-day as he's dealing with this brigade who he doesn't understand what they're doing. He's starting to have... he interacts one day. He sees something flashing in the grass, like something shiny.
Yeah.
Or bright. And so he goes and he sees like this little tendril. And he goes to touch it. And it stings him or bites him or enters him. And he's not sure which it is, because he's kind of having this moment where it's like, I'm not sure what I just interacted with or what just happened to me. Like, did that really happen? Did I just have a hallucination? Did I imagine this? So since then, he starts experiencing what Ghostbird calls the brightness. And he feels it's starting to kind of like unravel him over time. But it's very gradual and kind of... you don't get the full effect of it until just about at the end of the story. Okay. But he knows he's off. Like, he goes and sees the doctor about it. He's trying to figure out, make sense of it, telling her what's going on. And she's just like, you might just have a fever because your fever is elevated. But I don't see any entry point. I see no injury in your finger where you're claiming this thing happened. And so he just has some odd things happen with Henry and Suzette, where... he goes one day and the lighthouse lens has a broken piece of it, but no one's interacted with it. But Suzette and Henry were over at the island where the twin lighthouse is, interacting with that. And so later Henry eventually comes out and says, like, I know what's going on, but I can't tell you right now, kind of thing. And, like, basically there's a mirroring effect going on, where whatever they do over at the other lighthouse, something happens at this one.
Yeah.
And so, as that's happening, Henry keeps descending, or not Henry, Saul keeps descending into madness. He's starting to have hallucinations, starting to feel really depressed, and his journal entries start showing the message that was left in the first book in the tower that descends, in the other tower. So little bits of that start showing up randomly in the midst of a sentence in his journal, where you can, like, physically watch him descend into whatever this madness is. Okay.
So one of these two lighthouses becomes the Upside Down Tower, right?
No. That becomes something else entirely, and that's never explained.
Yeah, there were not two
that's
lighthouses
not explained
in the original story.
So there were two lighthouses. There was one on the other island, the island where the husband went. Or said he was going from the 12th expedition in his journal. Okay,
I was mixed up on that.
Yeah, so there was that one, and then there's the lighthouse that everybody has already interacted with. So those are the two lighthouses. And so, eventually, spoiler alert, Saul goes to the bar one night. He's hanging out with Charlie. Charlie goes off to do his fishing thing, and Gloria is gone for a few months because her mom needs her to go see her dad. So he's kind of feeling lonely and a little desperate and kind of still descending into madness. And then suddenly all hell breaks loose at the bar, and he's causing it. Like, one of the piano guy, he's just slamming on the piano until his hands basically become bloody pulps.
Oh boy.
And, like, people are descending either into madness or harming themselves, and he doesn't fully understand how he's doing it, but he recognizes that he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so he runs to the lighthouse, basically, encounters Henry there. He and Henry have an altercation because he's convinced Henry is causing all of this to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
But then after he basically kills Henry, he realizes, no, I did this. Something has taken me over, and I need to stop blaming everything else and just come to terms with it. And when he came to terms with it, he was entirely consumed by the brightness.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how it ends. And that's how Area X begins. And you don't really get an answer as to what in particular anything is, which I appreciate, because one of the things that always pisses me off is like, so there's some genius who's got it all figured out in these stories, and that's so unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the answers. I just want to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated that this writing doesn't give you all the answers. It just tells you what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the director's story.
Right.
Who you find out the director is Gloria, the little girl.
Okay.
And so she has found her way back to the Southern Reach to try and figure out what happened, because she wasn't there when it all happened. But her mom is gone. Saul is gone. Charlie's gone. Henry and Suzette are gone. Everybody he ever cared about or she cared about or was interested in are all dead, and she has no idea what happened. She was at her dad's, and then next she knows she's forever at her dad's. And so she's kind of dealing with a lot of loss and abandonment issues, but the entire way through, it kind of talks about her having that inner dialogue and all that survivor's guilt, and trying to get into becoming the director, and then when she is the director, what happens. Her going into the Southern Reach by herself with Whitby coming back potentially changed, but she's unsure because she wasn't there when it happened. She was down in the tower. She encounters Saul in the tower and has an interaction with him, though he's not himself. And so it's just all these different things and ways that she was trying to reconcile her survivor's guilt with actually finding answers of what happened to her mom and the people she cared about.
Right.
And so that was that entire storyline up until basically she knew she was going back and gonna die. With, probably at the hand, well, not expecting it to be at the hands of anybody in particular, but just knowing the Southern Reach. She's been there enough that there's no way she can survive this next time. So she ends up being the psychologist in the first book.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's the one who dies with Ghostbird because she jumped out of the lighthouse. So it kind of ties all those storylines up really neatly and what happened to people, but in that ambiguous way where, yeah, again, you don't get the answers because there is no answer. There's some kind of cosmic or otherworldly or supernatural thing going on. That apparently Henry and Suzette had answers to, but Henry died too soon. And Suzette, who knows what happened to Suzette? But you also find out that a third person joins their party from Saul, and that's Control's mom, Severance.
Yeah. Okay.
She somehow is involved with the SSNB. So the director in her story starts piecing all of this together. And so you kind of are left at a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not so much where it's like, okay, she's found out a lot. And she knows Lowry is telling, not showing all his cards, because he was part of the first exhibition, came back, was the only survivor, and now has his claws real deep into the Southern Reach.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of these books to explain the rest of Lowry's story.
What I've heard about Absolution is it's like a prequel. It goes back in time.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
And you still don't get answers.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it sounds like that's what it's going to be. But I want to also see... Because Ghostbird and Grace in their storyline... Again, spoiler alert. Control ends up going down into the tower and jumping into the light at the bottom. Basically shape-shifting and jumping in.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So his story ends like that, where he's basically chosen to completely be consumed by the brightness, but in doing so, he also enters into the actual light at the bottom of the tunnel. Nobody knows what that means, but Ghostbird recognizes some exchange has happened and there's a shift in energy. Not a negative one, but a shift in energy in the entire landscape of Area X from that point on. And she and Grace are left to basically their own devices to continue trying to find this other doorway to try and get back. But now they're like besties. They're not scared of each other. And at one point they were like, we hate you. Or like, you totally like, we can't be friends kind of thing. Because Grace is scared. Because Ghostbird fully acknowledges that they are a copy. But, like, what do? They don't have anybody else. So they just continue on traveling with each other. And that's the end. Like, they get to the building for the Southern Reach. And no one's there, and it's been so long, and it's dilapidated, become its own ecosystem. So they're like, all right, we keep looking. And that's where it leaves them.
Okay.
Just walking into the woods to keep looking.
So the titles, the first one, Annihilation, is easy. Second one, Authority, is again easy because it's taking place at their base where all the higher-ups are, and has a lot to do with the politics of the
Southern Reach, yeah.
Of the Southern Reach. So this one's called Acceptance.
Not sure entirely what the acceptance aspect is. There's several points it could be. It could be Saul accepting the brightness when it was taking him over to cause this Area X to exist. It could be Control jumping into the light at the end and accepting his fate of the brightness as well. It could be Ghostbird's acceptance of, hey, I know I'm a copy. I know what happened to the biologist I am a copy of. This is what it is now. Could be Grace just coming to terms with the fact that nothing is as she left it in the other world. And it could be the director who accepted her fate going back into Area X that final time.
Okay.
So a lot of acceptance had to happen.
Yeah.
There is also a letter to Saul from Gloria that Gloria brings just in case she ever interacts with Saul again. That just kind of talks about the acceptance of realizing what everything is. Okay. And so that probably is like the culmination of it all, but it really is the acceptance of all these characters, understanding that we can't fight it and we don't know what it is. So we either have to live with it or keep fighting it, and exhaust ourselves. Yeah. So that's kind of, I think, where the book comes from. Okay. Or where the book title comes from. Okay. And I did not do it justice. This is a phenomenal work. There's a lot of poetry. There's a lot of really great... It's just really great world building, really great character development, really great internal dialogue. Even the parts where they're like descending into madness, it becomes this jumble of really interesting poetic crazy that's kind of fun to read. Because you're like, oh, but it's poetry too, So that's really cool. There's just so much, and there's so many details I left out. There's things they encounter along the way. There's, that reveals something else or something new, or make you question, like, what the heck is that? Or make them question, what the heck is that? And you don't get an answer, but it's got to be important, because so far, every little detail in every one of these books has been extremely important. Yeah. Because it all ties together. So, it's just a really good read. And I recommend it to everybody. If you like science fiction, if you want to get into science fiction at all, this is a great introduction. It reads more like a fantasy sometimes, so a lot of my fantasy-loving friends, I'm recommending it to, because it does read like a fantasy. Yeah. And it's closer to things like Kafka and Burroughs than traditional science fiction. Right. So, go read it. Go read the whole series and continue to read everything by Jeff Vandermeer, because I'm convinced now that this is an author I can pick up anything by and enjoy. I don't have a lot of, I think, authors that I feel that way about. Garth Nix is one of them. So far, Jimmy Giuliano is one of them. Phil K. Dick, we're really enjoying. Jeff Vandermeer's on that list. So, go, get it, read it, enjoy it. Throw it at a wall because it's confusing and crazy and emotional. Like, this one made me feel a lot of things, too. There's a lot of really sad stuff going on. Or really insane things. Like, I had a lot. It was an emotional roller coaster.
Okay.
It destroyed me, and I loved every moment of it. So, that's what I gotta say about it. Get it.
Okay.
Support this man. Get everything he writes.
And I can't say much except that I've totally revised my schedule with Telltale to push some stuff back so that the next week I can hopefully sit down and read the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to read it. I just kept falling asleep all the time.
I had a harder time putting it down every time I picked it up.
Okay.
I actually read this in 2 sittings.
Mm.
So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Just 2 whole sittings. I got through, I think I got to chapter 11 in the first sitting and then just kept going from there. And the second one. And it was
it's
really,
not a
really
super
good.
long book. It's only a little over, it's like 230 pages.
Yeah, and I'm a really fast reader, so it's not hard for me to just breeze through something.
Yeah, obviously, because you're already done with February.
I know, I'm already almost done. I have like 5 chapters left.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost
I
done.
thought you finished that. I hadn't started.
That's another one where I sat down and in the first sitting I got through more than half of the book, and now I just have the last little bit left.
I got my copy down there, though I imagine that one it is probably a much easier read than
it's fast paced.
Acceptance.
Yeah, it's pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
So it's easy to breeze through, and the chapters are short.
It's not written too deeply, so.
No, it's cute though. I like it. Anyway, so look forward to that in February. But right now, Acceptance, go get it. Top tail, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to read the 4th one, which is a prequel. Can't wait to read the rest. I'm just absolutely blown away by this one. And I don't get that way usually. I mean, we're pretty picky about our books these days. Yeah. And that one's it's phenomenal.
Though I did already decide a long time ago I wanted to try to do a deep dive, read everything I can get my hands on. Mm-hmm. Problem is his early work is hard to get. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was published in, like, his very first story was published in an obscure college journal for Brigham Young University. And there aren't any copies of it. Maybe in the library at Brigham Young, but the rest of the world, you can't get a hold of it. So you can't read that story. Try
hitting him up online. Hey, happen to have a PDF of it?
I've considered that because he's a pretty nice guy. He'd probably say, sure, here's a electronic copy. Just don't distribute it.
Yeah, well,
But I really would like to read it. And, so I'm moving on to number 2. I'll start with his second story because I got his second story.
Well, that's good.
I got his second and his third. And I got to hunt for his 4th story yet. So.
Well, we'll get what we can of what we can get our hands on, because that is the hard part with some contemporary, even vintage authors. Like,
vintage authors even worse. Yeah, there's so many really obscure stuff that's just
magazines that don't exist anymore, and you can't find
even
a PDF
books that
of
were
it.
Published and they've never been reprinted.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, like we do, we're gonna keep trying and get what we can. If we can't, oh well. But we'll do what we can to try and get more of him to you. But really impressed with his work, really enjoying it. So, yeah.
So read Jeff Vandermeer. He's really good.
Get his stuff. It's so good. Support him. I guess he and his wife are, I think his wife or partner of some kind. I think they're writing a book on science fiction and feminism or something.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Anne Vandermeer has done a lot of editing. She's done a lot of anthologies. She's been an editor for Tours Reactor magazine, and the two of them have done a lot of anthologies together. I've got a number of them. They have one. It's a big book of classic fantasy, another one big book of modern fantasy, one that's a big book of science fiction. They have another one that's just called The Weird. It's all the new weird style stories. And they have a whole bunch of others, anthologies where they've invited authors to write stories and submit them.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I want to go through those too.
Yeah. So there's a lot to look forward to. I've got a few other titles of his on my wish list, both on Libro and bookshop.org and anywhere I can find them that I don't have to give money to billionaires. But I will if I have to, I guess. I don't want to, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, go read them. Do it. Or you'll regret. I'll make you regret. No, I'm kidding.
Most of his stuff, like I say, a lot of it's not currently in print, so you're buying it. A lot of his used. Sometimes he offers copies, so follow him on social media. Every now and then he'll do one, and then he sells autographed copies through small local bookstores, but they have websites and you can get a hold of them through the bookstore's website. I've done that already with a couple of his books.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really love about authors who do that, are they are so dedicated to the indie book scene. I really appreciate that a lot, and the indie bookstore scene. Just really appreciate that a lot, because their stuff's good, and we need to make sure that those little book shops stay alive, because they're important and they help thrive and help local communities thrive. So.
And we've got some good ones around here. There's Other Worlds up in Sturgeon Bay that focuses a lot on science fiction. Boswell has everything. That's a really great store in Milwaukee. Of course, Blackheart Books that focuses on horror and thriller in Manitowoc. We've got them around here, so it is possible to buy books through the local bookstores.
Yep. So do.
And then of course there's always bookshop.org.
Yep. Where you can support anyone.
I heard a rumor that Amazon owns that too, but I don't know if that's accurate. But anyway, if you buy through there, a certain percentage of your sale goes to a local bookstore of your choice.
And if you're an audiobook listener, I use Libro. You can support your own, a bookstore using Libro, and then just you listen to your audiobooks.
Yeah.
And they have a nice rewards program too, where you can get a credit a month if you pay a certain amount annually. So you can get a free book.
So the only time you absolutely have to go to Amazon are the more independent authors that publish through Amazon's platform, and they get locked into Amazon only distribution then.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but I mean, okay.
What can you do? What can you do except not give them your money as much as possible? So
going and buying from them a little bit isn't terrible.
No. I always look elsewhere first, because one, thrift books, I can almost always, thrift books, Pango, all those places, you can find them for way cheaper than you can online anywhere else, especially brand new, and you can get them new. So I usually try to opt for that first anyway. One, because I'm thrifty, and two, because then I'm helping an individual and not a billionaire, Yeah. A conglomerate.
I've been doing Pango books a lot, because a lot of times, the Spell Shop, I got that really cheap, a nice new close to new copy through Pango Books. So, and it, it didn't cost me much, and it shipped fast, and I got it here quickly. I've already got it in my hands. I ordered it last week.
Nice.
So Pango Books does good, and that's all people like us. We're on Pango Books.
Yeah, that's a good segue. So we do sell on Pango. We do have contemporary reads, some of the duplicates that we purchase. If we don't both need it, we'll sell them on there. We have a lot of CD audio thrillers and adventure right now. Go ahead and check that out. So we're on Pango under Telltale Books. And then we're also on Etsy, where you can get some of our more collectible and vintage books. So go ahead and check those out sometime. Yeah, books without barcodes and ISBNs kind of stuff.
Listed on Pango if you don't have an ISBN number.
Right.
So those have to go on Etsy.
Yep. So we put those on Etsy. A lot of them are very highly collectible, beautiful, beautiful copies. So go ahead and check those out. And all of the funds from that go back to us. We eventually are going to get into doing our own self-publishing, and all that money helps get us to start doing that. So, and of course, we're going to get more stuff on Etsy too. We're going to start getting some dust jackets and things. I have one that I'm almost done with. So
very good.
We're going to get that up and rolling pretty soon here. But yeah. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.